Why TBC? What's the deal? Now we know the heavyweight division is back in full force. I've covered prospects all over the world, not just in America. Um, but one thing I want to say is, as an American fan, I'm just, I'm speaking to all fans here, but mainly my American fans when it comes to the heavyweight division. Now we miss our glory days of, Tyson, Holyfield, and what I mean, and Foreman, Ali, Frazier, Norton, so on and so forth. Okay. But what I will say is, I'm going to give shots out to All American Heavyweight. Okay, now All American Heavyweight is out in Carson, California. And what it is pretty much is they're looking for athletes between the age of, 18 and 24, 6'3" or taller, 230 pounds and heavier, that have great athletic ability. And then they take those guys, whether they're former NFL players, NBA players, college athletes. They take these guys and they build them into heavyweights. And I got to give All American Heavyweights their respect, man, because they put Dominic Brazil was able to make it to the Olympics. Charles Martin is an IBF title holder, so that right there lets you know that there are some, that you don't necessarily need a 300 amateur background to have success. You know what I mean? And Dominic Brazil surely didn't have that. And I'm not saying it's only the All-American heavyweight camp that was able to do it. I mean, shit, Deontay Wilder, without any to little no boxing experience, made it to the damn Olympics and got a bronze. But I'm just saying specifically for guys like this to go to this camp and they put you up in, like, what was it? They put you in housing. They have trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, sports psychologists, nutritionists. I mean, it's the whole nine. I mean, beautiful facility for the athletes. I know there was a 4-year span when they brought in like 800 athletes. You know what I mean? And a lot of them didn't have any boxing experience. You know what I mean? So, and then they also going to say that All American Heavyweight takes about 15% of the athletes that they test out and bring them into a program to train them as boxers. From there, they cut it down to even a smaller number of boxers who they actually train to have a boxing career. So it's not like you just sign up and then you come in here and you make it. No, you have to go through a process for them to, just to see you out, to see if you're even built for this. You know what I mean? But it's out in Carson, California. It's at the Rock in Carson, which is 25,000 square foot gym that has 3 rings, a weight room. It's also said to be one of the most high-tech boxing training facilities in the world. Every sparring session is filmed. They have the largest boxing video library in the world. They not only store professional boxing matches, but they obtain any amateur film that they can get. So shouts out to All American Heavyweight out in Carson, California. Wanted to give them their respects and their props, man, because from this camp, we have 2 heavyweights, Dominic Brazil, who won a medal on PBC. You can argue that, that Brazil probably, was getting beat by so on and so forth, but he's still a formidable guy. This from this camp. And then props to Charles Martin for winning an IBF title, whether you thought it was because Glasgow's knee popped out and so on and so forth. It's not Charles Martin's fault, you know what I mean? But it's a good thing. And then this thing is put together by a television producer, Michael King, whose King World Productions Inc. held properties that included the Oprah Winfrey Show, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Dr. Phil, the Inside Edition. He was a big time sports fan and he always loved boxing. So he came up with the idea, man. So shouts out to Michael King and the people that worked with him and his team that worked around him to put this together. This is a beautiful thing. So I want to give some praise to All American Heavyweight, so just give some shots out, man, because for a while here, with the amateur program not being what it used to be in the 80s and 90s and 70s and 60s here in America, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. And the world has caught up with us as far as training their fighters. And we know about the Russian system and the Cuban and all that. But people are catching up with us, man. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that there's a place like this. And I hope that there's more places like this that pop up in the country, not just out in Carson. Carson can be kind of the blueprint, but maybe we can have one pop up in New York or one pop up somewhere in the Midwest, maybe Chicago or Detroit, or just have these places popped up you know, not just specifically a gym for anybody to come, but specifically heavyweights. Maybe I'm being a little biased about this, but I like that there's a damn facility and camp just specifically for heavyweights. And shouts out to everybody, All American Heavyweight. Shouts out to all their trainers, man, for doing their due diligence and putting some guys on the map, because Brazil and Martin showed that what they're doing and the approach they took with this All American Heavyweight, it actually works. YTBC, I'm out.